The healing principle. The healing principle is within man himself. Man's power to heal himself or extend his healing power to others is measured by his awareness of God in him. Man is an extension of God. God is light. God is mind. God is creator of his electric universe of light waves, which is his body. God is absolute master of his electric body. He controls the movements of his starry firmament and keeps all parts of it in absolute balance. All of man's ills are due to his lack of knowing God within him. The perfection of God's universe is founded upon its perfection of balance. All of man's ills are caused by toxic poisons generated in his body through unbalance affecting his power to control, his power of control over the functions of his electric body. Man, as an extension of God, is creator of his own electric body. He is master of his electric body to the extent of his knowing the light of God in him. Man is light to the extent that he knows he is light. He is mind to the extent that he knows he is mind. He is God and has God power to the extent that he knows God in him. Man may have all-knowing and all-power when he is ready and desires to have all-knowing and all-power. God says to man, "See me, know me, be me." But eons pass before man hears that silent voice in his heart. God says to man, "What I do, you shall do," but man is unbelieving for long ages. God's electric body. God is the light of mind. God's mind has all power and all knowing. God thinks his knowing into forms of his imagining, and his universe of matter appears as the product of his thinking. God's universe of suns and earths is his electric body. His body is what he made it. It is a record of his thinking. God's thinking is electric. God's thinking is recorded in electric waves of light. God's universal body is therefore an electric universe consisting of rhythmic, balanced waves of light in motion. Electricity is the tool which God uses to create all forms of his imagining. All forms are electric waves of matter. Electricity is the servant of universal mind. Whatever mind wills it to do, it must do. Omnipotent mind is the absolute master of matter. All matter must obey the will of all-knowing mind. Man, self-creator. Man and God are one. Man's mind is God's mind. His body is God's body. Man creates his own body by his desire for a body, extended to him from God's body. Man makes himself into the kind of person he wants to be, either alone without God or as co-creator with God. He is what he desires to be by his own will, extended from God's will. At all times during the eons of his unfolding, he is the sum total of his little or great knowing, extended to him from God's knowing. He makes his own successes and failures, his own achievements and disasters, his own strong or weak body, and his good health and illnesses. The strength or weakness of his will to manifest God is determined by him. Command of matter. Thinking mind can command electric matter only to the extent of the knowing of mind. God has all knowing, therefore God's command of matter is absolute. To the extent of man's knowing, he can command matter to obey his will. The scientist can transform one form of matter to another form to the extent of his knowing. During the last 100 years, man's command of matter has increased 10,000-fold because of his increased knowledge of the electric nature of matter and the effects of interchange of one form with another. Through such knowledge, man has transformed his physical environment from the plague-ridden, disease-ridden condition of medieval times, which cost millions of lives, to the sanitary conditions of modern times. Greater knowledge of the nature of this electric wave universe of matter has eased man's burden of constant work and given him many electric extensions of his body to multiply his power, to transport his body with greater speed, to girdle the globe with his thoughts, and to give him much leisure. It must be noted, however, that the greater part of man's advancement in the cure of diseases or healing of bodily infirmities has been founded upon the principle of the power of matter over matter, limited by the extent of his knowing. The power of commanding matter by mind, without the use of matter, is limited to those who are illumined with the omnipotent light of love. All seekers are illumined to greater or lesser extent. The power to express is limited to the measure of one's illumination. Love is the foundation of creation. Love and balance are one. It is impossible to manifest either love or balance without the other, and the measure of one is the measure of the other. He who has much knowledge may transform matter with the use of other matter, but love and balance alone, even with much or little knowing, can transform matter by mind without the help of other matter. Witness, for example, the extension of love to one who is ill and discouraged by failure, grief, and worry. He who extends a loving, helping hand to restore the power of courage and inner joyousness to one thus gives him back to God as a purposeful unit of God's creation, without having used matter to transform matter. The doctor who gives love in the shape of hope to his patient does more to transform the toxic or diseased cells of the patient by the omnipotent power of mind than by all the medicines he has prescribed. That is what is meant by the giving of even a cup of cold water with love. That is also what is meant by these words in the Divine Illiad: I will bestow immortality. Mine is the power to give immortality. I shall not deny that which shall give immortality to those who dwell in darkness and who reach out for the light. I will reach out my hand into the darkness and lead him that asketh into the light. I will keep my body charged with energy for the fulfillment of my purpose, in accord with that which is commanded of me. I have knowledge of my body through long age memory of the building of my body. The power of the dynamic universe is behind my thinking. I have the power of self-vitalization and revitalization of my body in fulfillment of that which is commanded of me. I have the power to revitalize others whom I have made to believe. To him who believes, I will give power to do that which is his to do, for the glory of man and the glory of the One. I stand on the electrodes of the universe of energy. Power is mine to give by the wayside. I will not deny to any man the power which is mine to give. I have no limitations. Unlimited power is mine within those which are universal. Matter versus mind healing. Man's body has been considered as an electrochemical aggregation of matter, which other electrochemical matter in the shape of antiseptics, medicines, and drugs can affect by contact, just as matter is used to affect other matter in a chemical laboratory. This practice has been based upon the assumption that the body of man is man instead of the light of the mind being man, the body being merely a thought extension of universal mind. So long as man was considered to be just electrochemical matter, it has been assumed that ills of his body could be cured only by electrochemical matter.